Hey, what's up, guys? It's the cool dude here, and welcome to another episode of Logo Evolution. And today, I'm going to be doing a Logo Evolution on Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. Sony Pictures Home Entertainment is a home video distribution company of Sony Pictures to distribute certain, content, movies from Sony's companies like Columbia, Tristar, Screen Gems, and Destination Films, and others. Established in 1978 as Columbia Pictures Home Entertainment by Columbia Pictures Industries Inc., to, of course, the same thing, distribution. Mainly from Columbia's own movies and later Tristar, after they established Tristar along with HBO and CBS, though the two would leaving Sony to, Columbia, then Sony, to run the company. They then, in 1981, changed to RCA Columbia Pictures Home Video, also known as International Video, as a joint venture between RCA and Columbia Pictures Home Video. In 1991, they were rebranded to Columbia Tristar Home Video after Sony bought the two companies after Coca-Cola spun off and merged the two. And then, of course, Home Entertainment in 1999, and then later 2001. In 2004, they then changed to the current name. Yeah, a lot of name changes. Because, that's what they do at Sony. And of course, distributing content and, of course, their movies onto home video. First VHS, then, of course, DVDs. And starting with the very first logo. It's called the Sunburst, and it was in use from 1979 to 1982. There's a black and white version. There's the same colors version, but with a different font and color. At least the logo's really good, though it's kind of badly edited. You can even see the Columbia Pictures text for a brief second before fading out. And now we go on to, of course, the first logo from RCA Columbia, and that is RCA Columbia Box, and it was in use from 1983 to 1987. There's a variant with slight animation. This is actually a weird logo. At least there's a variant with animation, but that's a bit of animation. And it's a bit choppy. But yeah, it's just weird. At least the previous logo, even though it uses, the same logo from the movie counterpart, it still has animation, but this one is just a still mostly. On with the next logo that at least kinda have animation. RCA Columbia Box 2, and it was in use from 1986 to 1991. There's a marble background variant. All it does is just spins around, so it's still weird and kind of bland. At least the international variants have, of course, animation, although the first one doesn't, and that is the color box. And it was in use from 1982 to around 1991. Now, the variance for this logo depends on where you live. For example, if you live in Germany, it'll be in a sky blue background. For those who lives in Italy, they'll get the Dodger blue background. If you live in the UK, you'll get a Chrism red variant, although I'm not big going over the grey variant, as it's the same, thing, just it being grey. You'll get the red variant, though. This is a weird logo. The only good thing about it is the colors. The different colors, which is kind of nice, but it's just a still. At least the next logo has animation, although the music and logo is kind of weird, and that is the one and only. The International Spinning Cube, and it was in use from 1988 to 1992. There is a marble variant, which was seen in UK tapes. There is a variant that turns silver. This is actually a weird logo. It's a good logo, at least it animates, but the background is black, the music is weird, and the animation, even though good, is kinda choppy. And especially, yes, that Columbia would distribute movies for children. So meaning on Columbia movies for children, this logo would come up. Yeah, weird. We finally get to, of course, Columbia and Tristar variants, and of course they will not be a bit weird regardless. So yeah, moving on, the first one from Columbia Tristar, and that is, it's called the early boxes, and it was in use from 1991 to 1992, though depending on where you live, 1993 in certain countries. There is a variant which would have the theme from RCA Columbia International Video. Yeah, this is kinda bland though. Good, but bland. Now we get to, of course, the good ones. Although the last of the still logo though, but at least it's good, and that is, it's called CT boxes, and it was in use from 1992 to 1995. There's a black background. For some reason, it would have home entertainment on it. It was in use in 2000, for some reason. At least this logo is good because, of course, it would have the Torch Lady and Pegasus in its 1992 form, although it's a still logo. Thankfully, this is the last of the still logo, because we're moving on to, of course, sliding boxes. It was in use from 1993 to 2001. This is a good logo. In fact, it would later be used for Columbia Tristar International Television. Moving on to the next logo. Speaking of television, it's called Sliding Boxes 2, and it was in use from 1995 to 1996. There is two variants. One that's the same from its television counterpart. The other that has a gold fabric background. This logo is at least really good, despite the normal variant being the same from its TV counterpart. It's still actually a really good logo, although it did not last that long, unfortunately. We have another logo that didn't last that long, and that is... It's called Rising Boxes, and it was in use from 1996 to 1997. This is actually a good logo, though, again, just like the last one, it didn't last that long. Moving on to the next logo. It's called the CT Filmstrip, and it was in use from 1997 to 2001. This is actually a really good logo. In fact, it would be used for their, international television unit. So, yeah. Moving on to the next logo. It's called the Blueprint Boxes, and it was only in use in 1997. Yeah, this is kind of boring. Yeah, it's good, but it's just boring. So yeah. Moving on to the next logo, and that is the Last Boxes. And it was in use from 1999 to 2002, depending on in Indonesia. It's in use till 2006. There's a variant that says home video. There is, of course, a home entertainment variant. This is actually a good logo, although it's kind of weird. And you guessed it, you see this logo on movies for, you guessed it, kids! Little kids like Stuart Little. Imagine watching Stuart Little and this logo popped up. They're gonna, yeah. In fact, the logo was quickly replaced in 2002, probably because of that, with actually a nice logo. And it is the one and only, the CT code. And it was in use from 2001 to 2005, Depending on if you live in UK and Ireland, it'll last until 2006. There's two music variants. One variant has the happy sounding horn music. There's a standard variant of it. There's a widescreen variant of it. The second music track has a sound violin-ish theme, as if, they're gonna change the name. Anyway, screen definition variant. Now this is a really popular logo. In fact, a lot of people like myself grew up with this, especially when watching, of course, 2002's Spider-Man. So, yeah. The fanfare is nice, and yeah. And now, we have the final variant, because around this time they would, of course, change to Sony Pictures Home Entertainment, starting 2004, but the logo wouldn't debut until a year later on Sony's own handheld, the PSP, release of course, Sony's own movie, Spider-Man 2. And the logo is... you have this logo, which is... I'll call it the boxes. And it was in use from 2001 to 2002. Yeah, there's not really a footage for this. All we know it's only used in a promo. We now go into Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. Around this time, of course, Sony Pictures Home Entertainment, would be, of course, this one, from, of course, Columbia Tristar Home Entertainment. It was, despite it made official in 2004, the logo would not debut until the 2005 release on, of course, Sony's own PSP handheld of Sony's own movie, Spider-Man 2, in March 24th, 2005. The logo is called the Shining Bars, and of course, it's been in use since the release of that movie. There is a VHS capture variant. In 2017, the logo would be enhanced. Now this is actually a really good logo that features the Sony bars. As, of course, Sony Pictures Television's logo would be a bit weird, the music is weird, and it would plaster. Even though this would kind of plaster on newer releases on DVD, it's not really that infamous. Actually, the music sounds nice despite it being on a black background. The music actually helps for that, and the animation is actually really good. Marking the only one I know with the Sony bars that have nice music for once. And the logo actually holds up well in their television counterpart. And actually, we have finally come to our stop for this logo evolution. And remember, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon so you'll be notified for my latest videos. And remember, please don't be afraid to request. If I see it, I'll take it, and I will actually take requests. So, yeah. And yeah. Bye.